The issue here, of course, is that there are certain things that are part and parcel of Islamic law or Sharia law that would be counter to our Judeo-Christian Western concepts of freedom and, for example, the treatment of women or the freedom of religion. So take one point in particular. The law of apostasy in Islam is such that if a Muslim decides to leave Islam and become a Christian or a Hindu or a Buddhist, whatever, or an atheist, whatever it may be, under the Islamic law, such people ought to be killed. And this again flies right in the face of our democratic values of freedom of religion and freedom of speech and freedom of expression. In fact, the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights says that not only do we have the freedom of religion and expression, but it clearly says that the person has the freedom to change and convert from his religion to another without retribution. So the UN Declaration of Human Rights acknowledges the right to convert from one religion to another. Now, under Islam, that is not allowed. That is not possible.
This past Sunday, I was speaking to church in St. Charles, Missouri, and I said to the congregation, I said, how many of you in this room believe that someday every knee will bow, every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord to the glory of God the Father? How many of you believe that? Everybody puts their hand up. Well, I didn't count, but I assume everybody. And I stopped and said, you're all a bunch of radicals. You're all radicalized. I mean, if you really believe that, there will be a day when religious freedom ends.
Or the freedom of religion.
I mean, if you really believe that, there will be a day when religious freedom ends by divine fiat and force. Divine fiat and force, not military fiat and force. That's one of the most important differences. We're all radicals. And from the perspective of many people writing today, they recognize that as long as you have monotheistic religions, everybody in them that takes that religion seriously is radicalized. If that religion includes within it a final situation where God wraps everything up and makes everything right, that's considered radical.
So let's see what the ruling is on apostasy.
Deuteronomy chapter 13, which speaks about an apostate in your own house. If one of your family commits apostasy, what are you to do? You are to be the first ones to stone the apostate in your own family.
Or the freedom of religion.
It's a term we hear often, especially in the West, the term Islamophobia. What does it mean? What are its origins, and how has it been used to silence critics of political Islam? For that, we turn to Dr. Tony Costa, a professor of world religions. Dr. Costa, it's great to see you again. Let's start there. What is Islamophobia?
Well, the word Islamophobia is a term that was first coined in the early 1990s by a Muslim Brotherhood front group known as the International Institute of Islamic Thought. And
we can also talk about the problem with female genital mutilation, which is a serious problem in many Muslim countries, where young girls, prepubescent girls, are having their clitoris cut out because of the idea that this makes the woman less provocative. She won't become promiscuous and so forth. And so, as a Westerner, do we have a right to condemn these practices? Or would we be considered Islamophobes to do so?
You can Google fatwa against honor killing. And you'll find tons and tons of fatwas, religious verdicts, by all mainstream scholars saying that this is not part of the religion of Islam. And the same goes for FGM, female genital mutilation, right? Again, so many people say, oh, those Muslims practice FGM. Do you know FGM is a practice that is done by Christians, Muslims, and animists of a certain region in Africa? It has nothing to do with religion, any religion. Everybody in that region. There are Christians who practice FGM, there are Muslims, and there are animists. Animists, the ancient religions, paganism. What combines them? Geography. There's one region in the world, in sub-Saharan Africa, there's a particular region there, where, for whatever reason, they practice FGM. And they're still practicing it. So to concentrate on the Islamic side of things while neglecting that this is a cultural practice that transcends religion. And again, it's nothing to do with the religion. So when it comes to FGM and honor killings, I can honestly tell you, both of them have nothing to do with the religion of Islam. In fact, they are antithetical to the teachings of the Islamic faith.
Thank you. No, I am particularly vexed, though, when that type of term, say, is applied to me. I imagine this conversation will be pegged as Islamophobic.
Yes. Yes, and we're simply discussing ideas here, and this is part of our democratic heritage, that we have the right to ask and critique questions and critique religion as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, we don't hear of Judeophobia if you speak against Judaism. The Jews are a very vilified group in many Muslim countries, but we don't hear Jews talking about Judeophobia. We don't hear Christians using the term Christophobia. If you attack Christianity, you're a Christophobe, you're bad. We don't hear Christians using the term Christophobia. If you attack